Hey, hardcore Hog fans. Welcome to Prediction Thursday. I'm here with my good buddy George Waddell from somewhere in California. I'm Rick DeWese. What's up, buddy?
Joining you from the sunny valley of Santa Ynez, close to Space Force Command. Yeah, so they shot off a rocket this morning. So I'm like right in the middle of UFO headquarters.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, it was good to see you in Little Rock, Arkansas for the Arkansas State versus the Razorbacks. It was awesome.
That was epic.
Hey, I will say this. It was awesome that you came. It was awesome that you were the celebrity at the tailgate. You were definitely the only man in white blue jeans, or I don't know what to call them, white jeans. I don't know.
Yeah, white blue jeans. Yeah, they were actually more of a cream color.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
Yeah, so that was kind of a salute to the old school Razorback Little Rock games when people would dress in red shirts and white pants and go to the Razorback game. This
only you could pull it off, brother. I can tell you that. It was great to see you. Hey, we're joined this week with a special guest who he says he's just a squirrel looking for nuts, but he got the score right. Tom Pickle, what's up, my brother?
Hey, it's good to see you guys. It's an honor for me to be on this well-esteemed and long-storied show.
All right. Hey, Tom, I'm going to pass it to you first, buddy. I'm going to let you, we're going to get the scores out of the way pretty quick, and then we'll talk about why we think what we think about. So what do you think it's going to be? This is Ole Miss, and we're down there in the Grove. What do you think?
Let me say fine china and linens and chandeliers and floppy hair on the fraternity boys aren't going to do anything because the Razorbacks are going to show up, and we're going to win 35-31, despite the 9.5 underdog. It's going to be an offensive battle.
I like it. George, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I'm right there with him. I think it's going to be 35-28 Arkansas. Just from what I've seen in the past couple of games and seen some highlights, I really think Arkansas has got an opportunity to come in there and get revenge.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was impressed with Tom's upper 50 score last week. I mean, we're all down in the 40s, and I was optimistic telling y'all that we were going to kick their ass worse than that. Well, Tom goes up to the 6s, baby. Let's go. I am going to go low. I'm going 24-17.
Wow.
Ease up, baby. Ease up. Foot off the brake.
How about that? That's surprising, Rick. I thought you were going to go the other way.
I know. No, I'm usually most optimistic. I'm 24-17. I mean, I got reasons why. I'm gonna toss it to y'all and let y'all talk about it. But I'll tell you why, and I think we're in great shape. I think we're gonna beat them. I'll tell you that.
Well,
Tom,
at least
I'll pass
we all
it
agree.
to you, buddy. Talk about it a little bit and educate us, please.
You toss it to me?
No, I tossed it to Tom. You're out, bro. Let me interrupt real quick. George, I tossed it to Colonel Pickle.
Yes, clearly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I used to have a real job. Now here I am. I would, I've got to say that, as a long time Hog fan, I've had my heart broken many a time, as we all have. But I like the offensive momentum that we've got. I mean, certainly bringing back Bobby was not a bad deal at all for any stretch of the imagination. So I was not as, I don't want to say not impressed, because we've certainly got a good defense, and maybe we weren't showing all of our tricks. But I really feel like it's going to be more, of an offensive battle for us. I mean, you think back to KJ a couple of years ago down there, the only thing that cost us the game was not getting the 2-point try. We're going to play them hard at home, and I think it's going to be, we want to go down there and show out and show Lane Kitten that we know how to play football.
Well, they're coming off of a pretty narrow margin in my book. It's the reason they dropped from 15 to 17. They traveled over to Kentucky, and Kentucky proved to be a little bit more of a handful than I think they thought they were in for. I think, therefore, the drop in the 2 spots. But at the end of the day, I think Lane's going to try this 2 quarterback trick on us. we'll see how that works out. They've got a really good running back. But like you said, they haven't seen Washington. They haven't seen our guy show up with all the pretty plays. I mean, yeah, we've been dive left, dive right, or like I call it, Washington left, Washington right. You wait till we get tricky and let this kid get in the open field, let him catch a pass in the flats, let his momentum go. They tell me, the Razorback coaching staff tells me, you can't tackle this guy. When he gets going, if you don't bottle him up quick, he can't be tackled. I can't wait to see that part.
Yeah. And I think they're going to be too focused on the quarterback because we've got such a dynamic RPO quarterback that they're not going to pay attention. They're going to burn him.
That's right. Well, he's so mobile that it's why he's got 10 passing touchdowns in the first 2 games. He's so mobile that all he's got to do is flick the ball 12 yards, and the kid goes and scores a touchdown. So they're doing a great job using the weapons that we have, but I don't think we've even seen the playbook yet. Not at all.
Yeah,
George, what do you think from California?
I think it's going to be an offensive show. Arkansas has shown that they can score the ball quickly. The RPO on both sides is going to be key. And I think that's where we have the advantage, because this kid that plays for Ole Miss, not only is he maybe a little bit hobbled, and I think they're trying to kind of say that he's not, but that's going to affect the RPO. I really think that if and the fact that he's only played 3 games, and we've got a quarterback that's in their second season in Bobby Petrino's offense. So yeah. I think that gives us the advantage. I was really disappointed to see us throw a couple of interceptions, but you know what we've done? We've held on to the football, and we haven't fumbled the football all year long.
Right.
You can take a couple of interceptions when it's Arkansas State that you're playing, but fumbling the football will change the whole complexion of the game, because after that, they just start ripping at it. And so they think if you fumbled once, you're going to fumble again.
Yep. They've got a second quarterback that they're going to play, I feel like. He's a 5th-year senior. I think he comes from somewhere out of Michigan. Last name might be Chastain or something like that. Seasoned quarterback, really good at the position. I think if this sophomore kid, can't remember where he comes from, Sullivan, I think is his name. Like you said, he's not proven. But I think if he falls apart, this Chastain kid, or somebody correct me if I'm wrong, this senior that came from the Michigan area, I think can jump in there and save him, because he is a really good quarterback. So we'll see what they do. I don't know how Lane Kiffin does that deal. I hadn't watched enough Ole Miss football yet this year to determine that.
Well, what I saw too, so I watched some of the highlights of the Ole Miss game, and what I saw was when they rattled the quarterback, the Ole Miss quarterback, threw interceptions. He threw 2 interceptions as well. Mm-hmm. So he was getting rushed and felt the heat. And if we can put some pressure on him, because I think we're going to play a lot of man-to-man in the secondary. It seems to be what we're doing right now. And if you play man-to-man, damn it, you can't slip, fall, or let the guy get too far behind you, because there's nobody there. And these guys are fast. One of the things that I did notice is they're not really that big, but they're fast. And so you can't let them get behind you in a man-to-man.
Well, I'm thinking defense is going to be the key, so that's why my scores are so low. So we shall see.
I have been impressed so far this year with seeing how we are open field tackling. Man, defense works when you can tackle and finish the play. That has always, not always, but a lot of times it's been a bane of our existence. You can't finish the play. It takes 6 of us to get the guy down. Seeing those open field one-on-one tackles, they were clean and they were efficient, and that was impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Anything that you see from the Hogs in days gone by where they sweep, I'm going to just put everything in the general category of a sweep. Anything to the outside. I mean, I'm talking about us on defense. If they sweep to the outside of any way, if our linebackers or linemen or defensive ends can't contain, then it blows our coverage. Cornerbacks have got to come up and make the tackle. Now you open up the pass down the sidelines, and we get burned by it every freaking year, and it turns out to be terrible. Yeah, if you get that containment, you get those defensive ends and those defensive linemen and those linebackers sealing up that sweep action, then the next thing you know, those cornerbacks are very confident staying with their guy, and they won't get burned.
Right.
So I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Colonel.
So Austin Simmons is their starting quarterback, and Trinidad Chambliss is the primary backup.
Yeah, Chambliss.
Yeah, he's a transfer and
somewhere
was,
up in Michigan.
He played a little bit in the Georgia State game, but yeah, and
good kid though, good quarterback.
Yeah, good quarterback. So I mean, a good primary backup for them. What I saw out of the Ole Miss offense was a lot of like 5-yard outs, trying to hit receivers in the flats, flooding that zone.
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to make run after catch. Lane Kiffin kind of chips away, and then next thing you know, it's a chunk play.
Well, it's really
Arkansas is like number 3 in the country after the first 2 games in chunk plays, 20 yards or more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great, except for the fact that Ole Miss is number 2 in the country in chunk plays. So that just shows you, they try to dink and dump and keep you thinking that they're going to matriculate the ball down the field. And next thing you know, the guy's, wide open over the middle.
One thing, all those chunk plays you're seeing in the first 2 games, that is the total disguise of not to show your playbook.
Yeah.
You can chunk to the left, chunk to the right, short over the middle, whatever. It's like you're totally saying, I'm not going to show my playbook.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Alabama had to show their playbook already. I mean, there's a lot of teams. Florida had to show their playbook. There's a lot of idiots that had to really dig deep. We and Ole Miss have been just chunking the ball left, chunk the ball right, win the ball game. They probably could have been a little bit more impressive over Kentucky, but I don't think they care. I don't think Lane Kiffin cares about ratings.
No, I think Lane Kiffin, is a good football coach, offensive-minded football coach. But the big thing with Arkansas's offense is with Bobby Petrino, as always, you can score in 2 plays. We scored 3 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes, and 2 of the drives, I think, were just 2 or 3 plays. So, I mean, the defense has to keep it strapped on the sideline the whole game because we could score at any time.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. I mean, and I think that's what they're afraid of. When they play Arkansas now, the fear is Bobby Petrino. It's not the kids on the field. It's what's Bobby Petrino going to do. Oh my God, is he going to throw it over the top when it should be a freaking running play for a 2-yard first down?
Right.
I mean, we don't know.
Right.
And that's what scares these teams.
And having him up in the booth, I think, gives him a little bit of an advantage because the technology now on the sideline is that they can hear the play in their. Am I right? They can hear the play in their helmet now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you've got a direct line to your quarterback. And who do you want as the direct line of the quarterback? I think Bob Petrino's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, and he can see the whole field now. He's not down on I was at the Texas game on the sideline and was amazed at how little you could see of the actual. I mean, I had a hard time following what was going on, but sitting up in that booth, and you can see it everything laid out, and you're the general, and you can strategize and think 3 plays ahead. That's a game changer.
Oh, yeah. When I sit up in some of my buddies' seats that are pretty far up there, but they're great seats, you're on like the 50-yard line, but you're like 45 or 50 rows up, and you look down, and you're like, oh, my God, I can see every play develop.
Yeah.
I can see. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but then, you kind of wish you were down closer so you could see, it's a catch-22.
Right.
But as a coach, I don't know. I'm still torn about Bobby being up there or not. Maybe it's a good thing. He's been on the field for so long. It's totally a different transition trying to move up there and call plays from up there because you're just not in the emotional part of it. And so I don't know what read he's getting from the other coach on the other sideline. I don't know what read he's getting from his players. He's not able to talk to them face to face. So I'm still a toss up on that deal, but so far so good. I think it's good that he's been up there.
Well, Rick, if had it not been for the 98-yard kickoff return, your score last week was pretty close. I mean, you had Arkansas State scoring 6 points, but they scored 14.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, Tom, what was the, and Rick said that he didn't think there was going to be enough time to score 56 points. There was plenty of time. How was your calculation made? How did you think 56 points were going to hang on Arkansas State?
I mean, I would like to say that, I did all this, kabuki math and had all these, taking all this strategy experience I had. At the end of the day, I think that my thought process is we better by God get out there and show people that we don't want to have this game every year.
Yeah.
So we better
We
score
better
as much
kick
as
their
we can.
ass.
And I say that as a lifelong fan of this game should happen. Right up until kickoff, I was like, do we really want to be doing this? And so I think it was like we don't want to embarrass Arkansas State, but we certainly want to let them know that this isn't a rivalry. This isn't the Egg Bowl. This isn't Auburn, Alabama. This is two teams that both come from the same great state and have the same great fan base to a large degree, and we're just going to go out and play a friendly, like the soccer people call it. But I
Well,
still feel like we can score.
I was totally against them scoring in the 20s like everybody was predicting and all that. I mean, I was with you on the down low. I didn't think the 56 was going to get there. I was at 42. But at the end of the day, I mean, shit, you take a turnover and a whatever, and that's where the points get there. But I didn't think we had enough time because I thought they would put up a little bit more of a fight and take a little more time to score. And so that's why I stayed down there in 42. I think on this game coming up, I think we're going to see 5 punts. I think you're going to see it back and forth. And that's why I'm sitting at 24. I got 17 for them because we're going to win no matter what because we got to go 5-0 by the time Notre Dame's out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Notre Dame game is going to be off the hook because we're going to be so primed up for that. I mean, that's a generational game.
George,
Notre Dame coming to your place.
Yeah.
It
George,
just doesn't seem real.
Yeah, that's a college game day if I'm concerned.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah. I told everybody at the tailgate last week or 2 weeks ago, I told them, I said, look, if we're 4-0 when Notre Dame comes in here, I'm going to be here 5 a.m. setting this up because it's going to be a zoo. If we're 3-1, I'm gonna be here at 6 o'clock because it's still going to be a zoo.
Sure.
If we're 3-2, I might show up at 7:30, mix a Bloody Mary, have a good time with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, a record by the time Notre Dame comes to town is going to determine what time I start that tailgate.
Yeah. I love it. I think there's a really good chance that we could be, there could be 4-0 going to that game. Rick, you're a big believer in the defense, though. You have always pimped our defense. And last year, Ole Miss hung how many points on us? It was embarrassing. So I think we got embarrassed.
Yeah.
What do you think's the change this year?
Okay, here a couple of things. We have some defensive backs that are all older. Every one of them are older. I mean, so this isn't going to last forever. But they're all experienced. They're all older. They're all huge, and they're all fast. And Pittman said, I've got 10 or 12 guys ready to go in the secondary. I mean, he's got so many kids ready to play secondary that I don't even worry about the secondary. And he goes, isn't that nice? That was out of his mouth. He said, isn't that nice? So that's number one. Number two, linebackers. Our linebackers are freaking ferocious, mean, strong. Our only weakness on defense, George, is the defensive line. We just don't know yet. I mean, I've been watching them for 2 games. I'm okay with what they got going on, but there's nobody's bragging on them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I agree too that the defensive backs have really held up so far against lesser competition, and I think the size advantage that was one thing I noticed when I was watching the highlights of the Ole Miss game was their secondary guys are kind of small. They're quick and they did ball hawk, and it looked like, I think from what I saw, Kentucky was driving at the end of the game, and they threw to a receiver. He got interfered with by one of the Ole Miss secondary guys. They didn't call it, and it forced a fourth down, and they didn't get it. Then Kentucky came back and had a chance to tie it again, and they didn't get it on fourth down. So, I mean, if you're given a couple of opportunities like that and you don't take advantage of it, it's going to wind up, you're going to lose the football game.
Absolutely.
And
I think if you look
think that's why I think having the offense that we have, just like Ryan Mallett against LSU with 6 seconds left in the half, comes out firing, and we score an 80-yard touchdown. That's the kind of offense that you're faced with. I feel like that if we have the ball last and we're up a score or need a score, I feel like our offense is going to execute and win the football game. And Kentucky just didn't have it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And hey, if you go look at the entire SEC, speaking of defensive backs, if you look at the entire SEC, and this, I'll just go over the last 5 years. It could probably go back 10 years. You'll notice all the defensive backs are typically smaller guys. I think that we are the first team to step up and say, we need big, athletic, fast defensive backs. And you're going to see our defensive backs this year compared to every other SEC team that are smaller, much smaller. You're going to see that we're the first SEC team to move up to bigger defensive backs, and we'll see if that makes a difference. I truly believe it will.
Colonel, what do you think about our defense?
Well, like I said, I'm impressed with the way they've played over the past, being able to get that containment, that open field tackle. We've always had just great, linebackers. There's always one or two that just their names just resonate, in the halls of our history. But from a solid across the board play, you're right. Bigger defensive backs, I think it takes a lot of pressure off the linebackers. It allows them to penetrate and allows them to be more ball management and watching that quarterback and watching that running back because they know they've got somebody behind them that can actually tackle. And we haven't, you're right, we haven't always had that.
Yeah. And I can just remember so many times over the years, our defensive backs just begging them as the ball is in the air to read the receiver's eyes and turn when the ball is coming. It seems like everybody else in the SEC knows how to do that.
Right.
And our guys just never have. And so what I've seen so far from you have a bigger wingspan, if you have the speed, you can recover, but having that wingspan, even, if it's going to be just tipping the ball a little bit, gives you a big advantage. So I like the bigger 6'2" and prototype defensive back that we have.
No, I'm not. I'm just talking straight. I'm raw dogging it.
It's called post-production.
I do think we're going to have a fantastic football game here.
Yeah.
Look, there's never a bad time in Oxford, Mississippi.
No.
Have you ever been?
Oh,
I've been. I haven't been. I've never been to during a football game.
Yeah,
the Grove.
The Grove. It is I wasn't kidding about fine china and tablecloths and chandeliers. Half my family went to Ole Miss and the other half went to other places. But the pickles come from Mississippi. And
well, hey, do you ever get down to Arkansas? I mean, you ever come to the Razorback games in Fayetteville?
I do. In fact, like the last game I was at was a Texas game. I'll be down for Auburn, and then I'll be back for the Mizzou game because now that I live here in Columbia, Missouri, and I got to say that the whole this borderline, I don't want to get into all that, but the border battle that we had this past Saturday. I live about 3 miles from the stadium, and you could feel the energy coming from that stadium. When they're singing Mr. Brightside and it's FKU, I mean, it was Look, after 14 years, they were ready.
I saw the kid kick the football over and raise his shirt up.
Yeah.
I
So
saw
the kid had a
FKU.
prosthetic. He has a
Yeah, I
prosthetic
saw that.
leg. He knew he was not going to make a 45-yard field goal or whatever it was for $25,000 because my moment was to kick the ball at the KU sideline. I mean,
That's what he did.
yeah, that kid didn't have to pay for a beer for the rest of his life. You know,
Clearly.
not in Columbia.
He's a
Right,
superstar.
no doubt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
reminds me of that Arkansas Texas, matchup when we hadn't played Texas in forever, and then all of a
Yes.
sudden in the 2000 Cotton Bowl, we're playing Texas for the first time in the Cotton Bowl, and we beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in 05, when I threw that big tailgate party out there, in 05, we lost to them like 19-14. It was so close.
Yeah.
And they were so good at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So had some real heartbreakers with them, but you know what? That's all right. That's football, and that's why we look forward to every Saturday.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I think if we don't have any turnovers, especially if we don't have any fumbles, I can take maybe an interception because it's kind of like a punt almost sometimes.
Sure. Right.
But if we don't have any fumbles and our special teams holds up, I think we win. I really do. I think we're the better
I do too.
team.
I just hope it's a great football game, and I think it will be. Now, this is, a good road test, and we just don't know what we don't know about us being on the road right now. But
Right.
I think it should be a great football game. We've had enough warm-up. I think the defense is dialed in now, and I think the offense has not opened the playbook. And that's fact. So
Yeah.
And I love that fact too, because we
I
have
may be totally wrong
been
on the
able to
24
practice
because-
without opening that playbook up.
Well, I may be wrong on the 24 too, because if we open up that playbook and Bobby Petrino goes bananas, it could get out of control. But
Right.
based on what I've seen, I'm looking at a 24-point game, and I'm looking at a 17-point effort on the other side.
Well, hey, I'll take it as long as we win. Yeah.
That's right, as long as we win, right?
As long as we win. That's right. Hunter
All
Henry's
right,
not here
guys.
this year.
I think it's been a great trip here. I think it's a good deal. Mr. Thomas Pickle, I'm
Colonel.
proud of you, buddy, for picking the right score. Do it again next week. We'll contact you all the way to Columbia, Missouri.
Here's what I wanted to say. Colonel, I want the truth.
I want nothing but the truth.
I
You
want
can't
the
handle the
truth.
truth.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. You need people like me out
Woo,
there.
Big Silly. I've been waiting to do that
Well,
all
good.
week long, so I just want to let you know.
Thanks, George.
Hey,
Hey, it's been my pleasure, guys.
great
Yeah, it's
seeing you
been great.
guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Colonel Pickle, good to meet you, buddy.
Yep. You too, Rick. I'll
Thanks for
see you
joining
soon.
us.
All right.
All right.
Let's leave it at
Later,
that.
boys.
All right,
Yep.
boys.
Blue Pig.